Right, we're live. Right, guys, welcome to the Resilient Businessmen podcast, episode number 11. Today, I am joined by Brad Burton, who's caught my eye on LinkedIn, I believe it was, a few weeks back. And of course, he's got a resilient journey in business that he's open to share the ups and downs. So without further ado, Brad, if you just want to give a quick intro and then we'll start your journey.
Mate, so thank you, Chris. It depends which Brad Burton you want. Do you want the guy whose dad left when he was 6 months old, who left school with no qualifications, who's got shot at when he was 21, been addicted to drugs twice, delivered pizza at 31? Or do you want Brad Burton, the UK's #1 motivational business speaker, the 4-time best-selling author, the founder of... You see, there's two sides of the same coin, and if you go back far enough to anyone's life, you're going to find something questionable. That's the reality of it.
I want the first one to begin with.
All right, good enough. So, yeah, born 73, so I'm 49-year-old, and dad left when I was 6 months old, quite right there. And my mum brought me up. She moved out into a women's refuge along with me, and she brought me up beautifully as a single parent, my mum. Holding down 3 jobs and what have you. I was a class clown, didn't really achieve anything academically, but always a fun guy. Didn't realise how much charisma I actually had back in the day. No idea. You just spit that into a fish. What's the water like? A fish says, what water? I didn't realise who and what I was. And then about 19-year-old, I ended up getting a job as a computer games reviewer. So I was actually on Games Master and stuff, reviewing computer games for the magazines. Anyway, then I got made redundant. Then I got on the dole. Then I got shot at when I was about 1995, so about 2021, 22, and caused me to move away from Salford, where I was born, to Somerset, where nobody knew me. And what's interesting about that is I remember sitting at Weston-super-Mare High Street on the benefits. I had nothing better to do. I'd go into the library and I'd read the newspaper, the Times. I'd read New Scientist magazine. Didn't even know what I was reading, but I was just in there, keeping warm. But also every single day, 4 days a week on benefits, I would go to the library and read and educate myself. I remember reading a book on hotel management because I wanted to be a manager. Anyway, that's what happened. And I remember sitting on Weston-super-Mare High Street, depressed. And the reason I was depressed is I wanted to go back to a time and a place that no longer existed. Back to Manchester, to the way that it once was. Anyway, 1997, 98, I met my wife, and then in 2004, I managed to get some jobs and whatever between then. 2004, I walked out of a job, told my employer to shove the job up their ass. Hence the reason that, there we go. Hence the reason I wrote that book, Get Off Your Ass, which actually was that journey of saying, shove your job up your ass, starting my own business off, and not knowing whether it was going to work or not. That business, as we segue into part 2 of my life, that business became 4 Networking. 4 Networking was the largest joined-up business network in the UK. Since 2006, when I started it, I've run over 68,000 real-life business networking meetings in the UK.
Wow.
I sold it on August the 1st, so it went on August the 1st.
How much did you sell it for?
An undisclosed sum. I think it's fair to say that 2 years ago, if I'd have sold it before the pandemic, I might have been doing donuts in a Lamborghini. I think it's fair to say I'm not wiping my ass with £50 notes. However, I'm happy with the deal. It works for everyone. 4 Networking continues. 4N continues, and I've got peace of mind, and I can concentrate on what I do best, which is motivating and inspiring people.
I can certainly feel your energy. So that was like a fast-forwarded version. So let's talk about the most challenging time. What was the most challenging time throughout all that? You mentioned depression, but what's the most challenging time?
So, I said before, if I go back far enough, you'll find something questionable. And the thing is with my life is most people have these stories. The difference is I'm stupid enough to share them. So, worst day of my life ever was getting shot at in 1995.
Can you explain that? Can you give more context or not? No.
Yeah. So, it's not a fun story. That's the thing. It's not any kind of romantic vision about this. So if I was to share it, it would bring all your audience down. If you aren't interested, Get Off Your Ass 2, Chapter 2. The story is in there. Literally, if you walk in Waterstones, pick it up. But the bottom line is, and I'm not going into it, but somebody messed around with my family, put it that way. And so coming at me getting shot at, and I moved away. Now, what's interesting about that is if it wasn't for the worst day of my life, I would never have moved to Somerset. I've never met my wife. I've never written books. I've never started 4 Networking. I'd never be a motivational speaker, speaking at the highest level in the UK, and I wouldn't be on this podcast right now. So if you think about this, everything happens for a reason. No matter how shit something's happened in your life, it brings you where you are today. And you can sit there all day long. And if I go and give you a hot cold, Chris, and say, hold on to that hot coal, you wouldn't. You just instinctively drop it. But what we end up doing in our life is we hold on to stuff that's caused us pain and burns, and it causes us pain. Let go of it. And that's what I've done. So you think about that worst day of my life. Boom, brings me here today. More recently, I had a nervous breakdown 2012. I'm all right now. Right? Nervous breakdown. Took me 2 years to recoup. I had a burnout in 2020 in August because of pandemic and trying to keep everything together. Got type 2 diabetes, had a near marriage breakup. Just tough old times. But you know what? Everyone has tough old times. The difference is I'm stupid enough to share those tough old times. That's it.
So you're very resilient. Talk to me about 2020 then. That sounds like a challenging time, and some men can relate to, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, I wrote a blog about it. It's on my Brad Burton website. I've looked at the blog, Lower the Revs, effective there. So if I said to you, Chris, how long was this pandemic gonna, when Boris told us on March the 22nd, 2020, please stay at home, how long did you think they were gonna shut down the country for?
I don't know, a few months max.
Right. We all did. So they said 2 weeks, fire break. And we prepared for 3 months. I was running business networking organizations at the time, probably 1.6 million quid a year coming in. So 140,000 pounds a year, a month coming in. Boris, please stay at home. And I'm running business networking meetings in Brewers Fairs, the land over. So 500 a month across the UK. And Boris says, please stay at home. Okay, now what? Which is ironically one of my book titles. But that's it. You go, I was like, shit, okay. Well, it's okay because it's going to be 3 months. We can deal with this. So we're going to take it online, take the network online. 3 months, network's online, doing really well. We was the first network to go online. And then 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, bosh. Now, I've been fucking working 18-hour days to keep everything fucking going, because if I hadn't, the business would have collapsed. So I'm having to, lead my team of 800 people. I don't have the fucking answers, but as a leader, sometimes, if you imagine being at sea and you're in a boat and everywhere you look, there's no land, you might as well say, oh, it's that way. You don't know. Yeah. Nobody fucking knows, but you might as well say it's that way, because otherwise, by staying here, you're going to die. You're going to lose. So I said, guys, we've got this covered. It's fine. We're going to go this way. Just a guess. But as a leader, I had to take them that way. 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, that entire network that I had all set up and all the individuals, they're popping off and so forth. Tough old time, mate. But everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And, I'm no longer involved in the network anymore. And I made my mark. What's lovely, the network continues. So my legacy continues.
It's fascinating. I've had bouts of depression myself, and it's some of it's related to failures in business, but it's part of the journey, isn't it? So as you said, like on hindsight, reflection, like one day hopefully I can write a book. Let me
tell you about depression, right? So I used to suffer with depression massively. I used to be on Prozac 20 years ago, and I kind of self-medicated myself right back in 2006 by doing stuff, right? By doing stuff. In my case, it was writing 5 letters a day to potential clients and go to the post office. So you'd have to go see the woman at the post office and smile and this, that, and the other. But what we end up doing when we're depressed, we can't be bothered. We don't want to move. And actually, that's exactly what you do need to do. You just need to get yourself out there and jig yourself. So if you said to me back in 2006, are you a manic depressive? I'd have said yes. I look at it now and I wasn't a manic depressive, but what happens is you end up believing that you can't change anything in your life. So consequently, that's when we end up being seized up like an engine. And what you've got to do is, I don't consider myself in any way a form of depressive now, but yeah, I definitively was. And I think go back onto that thing was I wanted to go back to a time and a place that no longer existed. Manchester, Salford, when I had, 5 girlfriends or whatever it was back in the day. And actually, then you look at the pandemic, so many people in the same boat who want to go back to the time and a place that no longer exists. And that's what's causing people depression. So what you need to do at some point, it's like a grieving process, denial, anger, depression, but then acceptance. That's what you go through. And I know this. So anyone who's right now who's tuned into this thing, who's kind of depressed, ask yourself, what are you holding on to? What is it that you're holding on to? What your life should have been? What happened many years ago? What they piss you off? They rip you off? What are you holding on to? Because whilst you'll do that, you will never move beyond depression. Let go. Oh, that bastard who shot out of my house. Okay, brings me here today. Actually, I'm on my pint. So I think that's what you need to recognise.
Yeah, that's key, isn't it? Like living in the past, and that affects the present, and then you still live in that moment.
Well, Chris, this is where people go wrong. When we look towards the past, it causes us to be depressed. When we look towards the future, it causes us to be full of anxiety. So people are at night. No one's ever here. No one's ever in today. No one's ever in this moment. Those in the past causes depression. Always in the future causes anxiety. And one of the things that I've done, which kind of helped me massively, you are what you eat, right? So if I go on eating hamburgers all day long, I'll get fat. Fat, reality of it. I go on chocolate bars, I'll get fat. You are what you see. You are what you hear. If you sit there watching the news, rolling news all day long, oh my God, look, nuclear bombs, Putin. Oh my God, look at riots going on. Guess what? That ain't going to be good. So I've taken myself off the news. I'm now like 9 months in, 10 months nearly. 10 months in of no news. So I make damn certain that actually this is your biggest chance of success. This is your biggest chance of failure, which is your brain. And so many fucking people fuck it up themselves. You're sitting there all day, giving yourself ladles of bullshit. Crackers.
I've got a mate who's constantly talking about the bad news, and it's just like, it's getting him anxious, putting him in a fucking negative spin. His missus is complaining, you're going out of control with this. It's like, you just need to stop watching it. Like,
and I always ask this, what is the advantage to watching the news? Well, I like to be informed about what. How the fuck does it make a difference to you in your life knowing that the interest rate has improved today? Sorry, gone up or whatever it is. I don't know, somebody's mentioned it to me before, but it doesn't. Yeah, but I need to be aware of it. Okay, fine. What about bombs going off in Ukraine? Do you need to be aware of that? And schools being bombed? Do you need to be aware of that? And then people having riots and getting whacked over the fucking head with a stick? Do you need to be aware of that? Or is it actually somewhere along the way? Get yourself off this fucking system. It's like being connected to the Wi-Fi and just fucking watching negative shit all day long. Like, why would you do that? So I'd rather be uninformed and happy than informed and miserable. Right now, this fucking world is fucked up. This is normal. People are waiting to go back. And this is the other thing, that people are waiting, using energy, trying to get to normal. And normal's fucking no longer there. And when they get there, then going, no. So guess what I've done? I've fucking stopped wasting energy trying to find normal. I just stay near and let normal come to me.
So it sounds like you've done a lot of self-development. Have you done meditation at all or not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I started yeah, massively. I started Christmas Eve last year. Fucking love it. One of absolute game changer.
Joe Dispenza or not?
Huh?
Dr. Joe Dispenza, have you heard of him or not? No.
I know the name, but
yeah, he's pushing it in the mainstream now, I think, meditation. But it's changed my life 100%.
Good. Well, this is the thing with the way that I approach everything that I'm doing, is Life Maker, is about changing people's lives. And actually, we spend so much time on the external car, suit, doom, house. When was the fucking last time that people spent that same give that same energy to the internal? And that's what I've been doing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just helps you be more present, doesn't it? And self-awareness.
Say again, bud.
Self-awareness, just notice things like that you wouldn't normally notice. It's really good.
The problem we've got as a society is that, and this is what I've been on about, is that, what success is making a load of fucking money. And it isn't. I'll tell you, take it from me. Someone who's made a load of money and who was deeply unhappy. Okay, so what's success then? Success, in my view, is contentment. You get contentment, you've got success. Then you worry about the money. But what's happening is people are getting the money, thinking they can sort contentment out once they've got all that. You get the car, they get a house, and so forth. And your mental health doesn't give a fuck about the car you've got. And that's the bit that people kind of get it twisted.
Yeah, I did a video on that yesterday, actually, on my socials. Sitting in your flash car, depressed. I mean, I bought a brand new car last year, and I got rid of it because it just didn't solve my problems at all.
Yeah, which car?
It was an X3.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, but
I get it. And it's fucking mad, isn't it? Once again, you get these things and you're still unhappy. It's like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think you've got to buy them to realise that, though, because you put them on a pedestal. I'll be happy when I get that. My dream family home, I'll be happy when I get that.
Hey, mate, I say this, my life's going to be good when I get a 40-inch television. You get a 40-inch television, and you say, I need 60, then you get 60, then you get an 80, then you get 100-inch. Now I need a 100-inch curb. Now what I need a fucking wall. I need a home cinema. What the fuck? It never ends. And it's always around the next corner. And then one day you die. That's the fucking thing that people are fucking up. They're forgetting that one day you are going to be dead. Every single individual that you love is going to die. That's not very motivational, Brad. I don't give a fuck, right? This is about you waking the fuck up. Because what we always think, it's always another 10 years away until it's not 10 years away. I'm 49. My dad died at 53. That means on that basis, I've got 4 fucking years left. And what, I'm going to go and fanning about building up a fucking national business again? Come on. Really? I'm a fucking, and this is what people don't understand. This is finite. This, what we've got, is finite. One day I'm not going to be here. This video will outlive me. That's mental.
I know.
So once we start accepting that that we're not going to be here, and actually that we accept that time is our most important asset. And if you had a clock on your head telling you how much time you had left in the world, which we don't, but if you did, I guarantee you won't be fucking about arguing with people on the internet about Brexit or whatever shit you want to do. So you've got to recognise that your last day of your life is as important as the today's. But the reason that we take the piss is because we don't think that, it's never going to end. And it is. And that's what I've realised. I've been hyper-connected. Tens of thousands of members over the years with 4 networking. I've carried the coffins of 2 4 networkers. People that came to my networking and wanted me to carry their coffins. And that's like the ultimate honour. But this is what I'm trying to say. I've seen too many people that, we only saw them last week. They was going to go on a cruise in September next year. They ain't anymore. So whatever you're going to go and do it. Use this as a wake-up call, because I'm talking to you. Do it. Say it. Make it.
Why do you think people don't? For you?
Yeah, fucking right. And I get it. But that if you're fearful of what? It's going to be like sleeping. No, right? So fearful of leaving people behind. Well, in which case, start spending some fucking time with them now, right? Fear of not being able to, whatever you're going to do it. This is what I'm trying to say. And it's like, I just see too many people get it all twisted and all wrong on that front. And they focus to spend more time, more energy on more shit that doesn't matter. That doesn't fucking matter. I had a BMW i8, fucking, my world, supercar. And from a working class lad in Salford, Manchester, to have that, it's like, doors that go up, it's fucking amazing. 3 months after I got it, it's like, fuck, it's just a car.
Yeah.
And all that magic fell away. It wasn't the fucking thing that I thought it was. And that was in 2020 or 2019, I think. But I can't remember. But it's 2020. I think, and it's like, this is the bit that you need to understand. On my dying breath, do you reckon I'm going to go, thank Christ I got an i8?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're just not going to go, I wish I'd have spent more time with my children. I wish I wouldn't have spent more time at work. And that's what people need to be saying. What would you say in your dying breath right now? And whatever you're going to say, think about it logically. That is what you should be focused on.
Yeah. Family, pretty much. Yeah. Cool. So what would your 3 top tips be for someone in business right now who's going through a challenging time? Because you've been through absolutely everything by the sound of it.
Yeah. And everyone goes through it. I'm just daft enough to share it. That's the fucking thing, right? I would be the worst motivational speaker if I didn't share my hardships and how I got through them. So the 3 things that I'd say is, first and foremost, is make decisions, right? Because what ends up happening is you don't make decisions because you're scared. And the reason that people don't make decisions is they're scared they'll be the wrong ones. Well, let me be quite clear here. An expert, when it comes to book writing, motivational speaking, networking, an expert is someone that has made all the mistakes in a particular niche field. So the only way that you can become an expert in your field is by making decisions. On occasion, those decisions will be a mistake. So here's the thing. Based on what I just said, if you make a decision that's the correct one, it moves you 1 step towards success. If you get it wrong, it moves you 1 step towards being an expert. You can't fail. Yeah. So that's how I deal with decisions. And so make decisions. Recognize that you have to lose before you can win. That's the reality of it. I, in the first 11 years of my business, the first 9 years of my business, I wanted to quit 11 times. 0 not quitting, 10 quitting. I've been 9.8, 9.9, 11 times in those first 9 years. And then there was a 6 years where I had no quit. It didn't even come on my radar. And then pandemic happened and I've had fucking 3. So somewhere along the way, you've got to recognize that the good times never last. Bad times never last. This is how it is. And mountaineers don't stay at the top of mountains. They go to a mountain, they put a flag in there, they come back down, and they plan another mountain. And that's what you've got to recognize. So that there. And then the third one I'd say is I have a religion. I'm going to share my religion. Bradism. Help many, hurt few, live life. And recognize that in order for you to run your business, on occasion, you're going to piss people off. On occasion, someone's going to be unhappy with your decisions. You are going to get people that disagree with your decisions, but they don't have to pay the price. So as long as you are happy with yourself and your decisions, go for it.
Oh, fucking hell. I wasn't expecting all this, to be honest, bro. Motivation speaker, all right. Last question. What are you most proud of?
Making a positive difference. You know, I genuinely have made a positive difference, not only to my own life, but to thousands of other people. I'm a motivational speaker, and you know, I'm the UK's #1 motivational business speaker. And people say, Brad, how did you become the UK's #1 motivational business speaker? I just made a fucking website and said I'm the UK's #1 motivational business speaker. You know, I said to somebody the other day, I said, how did Muhammad Ali become the greatest?
Yeah.
Because he fucking called himself that. So don't, you know, this is what I'm so proud of carving a niche. I speak at the highest level in the UK, the highest level. JCB, Bentley, Zero, Costa, the list goes on. You know, and it's like, I've done okay for a working class lad with no qualifications who got shot at, you know, and actually looks like a fucking drug dealer. I'm not, by the way, anymore. But we can all change. And that's what it's about. We can all change, but it all starts with this belief. So my biggest proudest moment is, one, changing my life, changing my direction. But in doing so, I've changed the direction of my family. My boy, Ben, he's just gone to university. He just started university, my first Burton to ever go to university. I'm like, fucking mind's blown. So that wouldn't have happened if I'd not moved from Salford to Manchester. So I'm so proud of making a positive difference, and I continue to do that. You are, on occasion, going to get cunts who actually tell you got it wrong, you know, and I don't say that lightly. They are. I get chased around the internet by strangers, anonymous, telling me I've done this, that, and the other wrong. And it's like, you know, between me Pol Pot, looking at these things, and it's just, you are going to get it. You are going to get that, and it's all part of it. It is all part of it. You cannot have success without having haters. So my kind of what I'm most proud of is pushing through that and not allowing these crabs to try to pull this one back into the bucket.
Amazing. Really, really good. This is going to be a short and sweet one, I think, because Brad's just give it to us fucking hard.
So listen, what I would say there, Chris, if anyone's interested in working with me, do check out my website, workwithbrad.biz, and you'll have the opportunities to, you know, even work with me as little as an hour or 90 minutes.
Awesome. Right, appreciate your time. I'm sure you've got a load of people to speak to today. So we'll just finish it. Cheers, Brad.
Thank you.
And I'll see everybody on the next one.